100 billion. That's only a low estimate of the number of matches dating apps like Tinder have made since only 2012. And according to Pew Research, 1 in 5 adults now meet their partner on a dating app, which is about this much in chocolate ganache. Those are some impressive numbers, but this summer, a new app has been taking the internet by storm. It's called T Dating Advice. This app has passed the likes of Tinder, Bumble, and even Hinge, with over 4.6 million users. And this isn't because people are starting to find love. Hi, my name's Eamon. I have a master's in advanced computer science and a lifelong tech enthusiast. So when an app goes from 0 to the number 1 in the app Play Store, basically overnight, my inner nerd gets suspicious. With over 4.6 million users, T is now the top ranked dating app. And it's not because everybody suddenly find the one. It's because this app lets you track people, run phone number lookup, flag emotionally manipulative behavior, and most controversially, it lets you submit real-time reports on people that you are dating. It brands itself as some ultimate safety tool, especially for women. This sounds great, doesn't it? Well, unless if you're living in Europe like me, because you can't even access this. Why? Because almost everything that this app does, from location tracking to identity checks, violates all forms of GDPR and data protection laws. It's good cake. So I did what any responsible tech nerd would do. I fired up BlueStacks, spoofed up my location using a VPN set to the US,
Hackerman,
and downloaded T to see what's really going on. The first red flag that I notice is before you do anything, you get slapped with a wall of legal disclaimers. Then you see this specific warning: screen recording is not allowed. Except if you guys zoom out the screen a little bit, OBS is working just fine, with no blocks and no alerts. So either the warning is fake just to psych you out, or they're not actually detecting anything. And then I noticed something a bit more technical. T connects your account when you log in via Gmail to a Firebase project code during login. We'll come back to that. Spoilers, this is very important. Now, here's where things get a bit strange. To get verified, T asks for a live selfie to prove that you're real. Not uncommon, but then they brag about their anti-catfish tech by showing some wild examples. First, the Tinder swindler, who's a convicted fraudster who tricked women into giving him thousands and even got a Netflix documentary that reached number 1 in the US, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna get caught. And Jeffrey Epstein, who definitely shouldn't be allowed on any app. Like T, I do get the point, but I do not think Epstein is trying to date anybody right now. Still, it got me thinking, how hard can it be to bypass the system? So I decided to whip out my camera, attach it to the computer, and uploaded a selfie of Tom Cruise using webcam. Within seconds, I got put into a queue notification, and I realized I was probably screwed here because I was number 16,000 and something in the line. It's just a classic. But here's the real question. Where are these selfies going? Because shortly after, something major happened. On July 24th, which is the day after I was doing all of this stuff, a 4chan user posted a public link to T's Firebase backend, exposing over 72,000 verification selfies.
Oh no!
Usernames, phone numbers, and timestamps. And worst of all, the latitude and longitude of these coordinates. So you can pretty much find everybody's current address. This wasn't a sophisticated cyber attack though. This was a public Firebase URL with read and write access enabled to anybody, which is crazy. There was no password protection and no firewall. You could just open the database in your browser. The hacker shared a Python script that downloaded the entire database in only 30 minutes.
What is it? What just happened?
Fast, so you didn't know.
What just happened?
That's how insecure this app was. A complete breakdown of digital hygiene. And let's be clear, you don't even need a sign-in to get access to this. Anyone with a link could view user data. It's It's one of the most amateur security mistakes I've ever seen on an app that got a top 50 rating on the App Store. Let me show you guys what actually happened under the hood because it's embarrassingly simple and I can probably show you in under a minute. T uses a Google Firebase, which is a cloud backend platform that stores data, user accounts, and other forms of media. Now, Firebase is great if you configure it properly, but of course T didn't. Here's what their Firebase rules look like. You have rules read, write, true. That means anyone on the internet can read and write to this database, which is stupid. And here's how you can do a little tweak to fix it. On one line of code that you could have prevented this entire breach, which ensures that only authentic users can access or change anything. Want to go further? You can restrict access by role as well. Simple, free, and it would have saved T a massive public embarrassment. Thank God I didn't put my ID on there. Now look, I get it. T is trying to solve a real problem in online dating. Ghosting, emotional manipulation, dangerous people who hide their identity. Not sure why the camera's zooming in here. But when you promise protection and then leak everybody's user data, you've done more harm than good here. T was built on the idea of trust and safety. But what happens when all your personal information gets exposed? Your verified selfies, your numbers, your locations, etc, etc. Even worse things. They collect geocode, metadata, and even user reports. That's literal GPS data we're talking about here. Imagine reporting someone and then having your own location data leaked publicly. It's to 4chan of all things. What are they playing at here?
I think T got the last laugh in the end though, because they kept holding me on, being like, oh, well, you're next in line, we just gotta verify one or two things. And I had to wait 3 whole days until I realised to just throw me an entire loop. Well played, T. Well played.